Hey, welcome to Hearsay. I'm Paul,
And I'm Patrick.
and today we're going to be talking about what our thoughts on in 2025 in movie and TV.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff coming, so we're going to run through some of it. Happy New Year, everybody. Let's get that out of the way. Paul, where are we starting? Because I'm going to just go ahead and say that we should all look up and start with what will no doubtedly be the most talked about movie of the year. That's one, a Superman.
Yeah, it's going to be ridiculous. Which goes like a ridiculous year just to specifically do with Superman. So
Yeah.
it's the biggest DC movie. So
And also, it's going to be this is going to be a bit of a decision-making time on what the public opinion of how DCU is going, how James Gunn is going. This is a real big jumping off point, not just for a reboot of Superman, but for a whole load of people in the DC and Warner side of things. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm not a massive Superman fan, but I'm looking forward to it because of all the crazy that's going to happen around it.
I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's going to be a crazy kind of which goes movie to watch.
Yeah, and I love dogs, so that trailer
Yeah.
got me going. Give me a super dog anytime you want. So Paul, do you have anything else on Superman?
No, it's going to be an interesting watch. That's it for now.
Well, then will we run across the street and look at the other people? Because when I say across the street, everybody, Marvel and DC are two separate companies. For anybody who's watching this and it's like, I hate this comic book stuff. Don't worry, we'll be done with it in a minute. Marvel have not had the best form in the last year and a half to 2 years. After their massive success with Thanos and Endgame and everything that became has just been baked into pop culture, they've been struggling a bit. And Paul, I'm predicting that with their first movie back this year, Captain America: Brave New World, with Harrison Ford as Red Hulk, that's in the trailers, it's on all the posters. There's no spoiler there. Anthony Mackie, Falcon, is your new Captain America. I predict it's going to be mostly overlooked and not really have the impact that Marvel would like.
I'm gonna say so. I put up a picture of Thunderbolts because I thought, but yeah, Captain America now it's got Captain America. The interesting thing I think I saw a trailer in the cinema recently, and I actually kind of was just like, oh, this actually doesn't look too bad.
Yeah,
We'll see though because we've been
I think we'll love it. I just don't know how many people will actually buy into it from the days of yore when Marvel were could do no wrong and could pull in every demographic that existed. I don't think this is the one to set them back. Hate to say it. I love you, Anthony Mackie. Don't know if you're a superstar.
yeah,
It's a
we'll just
terrible thing to have to say. I just don't. He's not Chris Evans. He's not Robert Downey Jr.
yeah we're just gonna have to wait and see if he is able to pull off the the
Yeah.
frontman thing. So
Do you know who is a superstar since you had the Thunderbolts up? Some of the cast of the
a
Thunderbolts.
lot of the
And
cast.
I was gonna originally I would have been saying just Florence Pugh. But in recent times, Sebastian Stan's stock has been going up with the general public. He's no longer just a Marvel actor. He's done some amazing work in the last 18 months to get him in everybody else's mind as something more than that Winter Soldier thing. Um, I think him and Florence Pugh, and don't underestimate how much people like David Harbour from Stranger Things and also from a brilliant role in the Marvel movies. So I'm saying that Thunderbolts is it's the old Marvel
Yeah.
to watch closest. It's the one that's going to be make or break for them.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think this is, as you say, this is going to be the one that's going to bring people back to the cinema for the Marvel universe. So I do agree with that.
It's the MCU reset, which I wouldn't say Fantastic Four is, Paul. I think Fantastic Four is more akin to what Guardians of the Galaxy was way back in Phase One. It's the can we make this work? And if they do, I think it'll be Guardians of the Galaxy level cool, as in successful for them and we'll all love it. It's going to be a tough one. It's nobody has managed to get the Fantastic Four to take off yet, Paul. What way are you calling this?
It's so I think so. First of all, I think the cast is really really good choice. I think
For
I
sure.
think there's already theories of a possibility of Spider-Man and Johnny Storm kind of crossover stuff, which is really good. It'll move to Tom Holland onto kind of a newer role within not being a mentee
Yeah.
but being a mentor.
Well,
Um,
see what Sony says, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah, but it's yeah, Fantastic Four is a difficult one. I really like the old camp ones, but this is going to be a
Mm.
difficult sell because it's like yeah, it's really kind of like
If they get it right, Paul,
oh
if they
yeah,
can do Like this really is a deja vu Guardians of the Galaxy for me,
Yeah.
where I'm like, oh, that's a big ask to get this one to properly work. But my God, when I walked out of the cinema all those years ago, I was like, wow, James Gunn and Guardians. Ironically, he has to do the same thing with Superman this year, so
Yeah.
everything does just repeat itself. Marvel TV, Paul, Disney Plus.
Yep.
We've got two series that I know of. There's Daredevil Born Again, which I am ecstatically excited for because I love the original street level heroes on Netflix. That's Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. I
Yeah.
am in no way looking forward to the other one, which is probably going to be more aimed at kids and nostalgia for Iron Man, and that's Ironheart. So the Riri Williams character from Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, and it's interesting. An interesting trend for Star Wars right now because they've got the Skeleton Crew right now, which is very much aimed for kids and stuff, and Ironheart might be also aimed at kids. So it's kind of like an interesting kind of franchise change.
Yeah,
So
so the Marvel stuff and the Star Wars stuff, a lot of the Disney Plus stuff, making sure that it's kid friendly. It's something that we predicted a while back that would have to
yes,
creep in. But remember the first time you watched WandaVision, thinking, "Oh yeah, these guys can do TV." I hope that that's where we get with something like Daredevil Born Again. And if we're getting one of those a year, I'm fine if we get two Iron Hearts a year that I can ignore.
yeah, no, that's the
The
TV
trade-off.
shows have been of a weird kind of hit and miss kind of thing, a lot more like hit miss kind of thing rather than the
Yeah.
movies, which have been like we've got a series of misses. So
Phase success, phase success, phase miss, phase success. Exactly. Yeah. Entire
yeah,
years.
so
It's a funny one though. So anything else? I think Marvel face less challenges this year than DC with the gun universe because they're pulling themselves back rather than launching themselves off.
see, yeah, and I think my thing is that I think it's easier. I think DC has an easier thing this year.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow,
because
cool.
we all remember how Marvel is,
Yeah.
and it's essentially these movies are a continuation of that. So we're all
Mhm.
looking at old phases, going like it's just not as good as like these ones. Whereas the new DCU, like we can be like, well, we can forgive the first one if it is bad because this is a starting off point,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like we all forgave essentially, like well, we had diehard fans of essentially Man of Steel and with Henry Cavill, great superhero Superman. But so I think the DCU has a little bit of an easier chance this year, or a little bit of an easier job,
Mhm.
then because we don't know what to expect, whereas we have already notions about the phases that we love beforehand from Marvel. So
It's a fair point, I guess. Actually, and you know what? You've made me think about it that little bit more deeply in the terms of, well, do you need to be brilliant or just good enough? Because at this stage, Marvel can't afford too many just good enoughs, whereas I think Superman can be just good enough, and that's a fine start. So unless it completely sucks, you're probably right. Maybe there's less pressure in that one way too. So
yeah,
interesting take. Oh,
they
I'm glad
just
I
need
asked
a
you.
DC just needs a couple of nuggets to get people going. I'm kind of interested in this. I want to see what they do with the next one. That's all they need. Whereas
Yeah.
Marvel needs us to go, look, we're back. We're good again, So that's the
All is
difference.
forgiven. All is forgiven. Exactly. Well, for anybody watching that's not into all of that jazz, and for some reason I can't get my comment window up, Paul. So if there's any comments, let me know. Um,
Just Brew saying Happy New Year.
oh,
Uh,
very good.
Happy New Year as well.
Very good. Yeah, I would say that getting away from all that, it's going to be. I was disappointed with last year. Horror genre aside, I thought last year was a relatively weak year for movies. I'm not going to say that in advance this year. I think we're in for quite a kicker. Um, I think it's going to be top drawer.
I would agree there. I think we're interested like so if people want to look at the our feelings of 2024 video up there, which but yeah, I think we're looking at a kind of there's a lot here that, as we said before, what we wanted to take into 2025, which is people trying stuff, and I think we got a lot of kind of cool kind of not experimental, but a lot of kind of interesting stories and stuff.
Yeah, and honestly, Paul, if we can, do you mind if I pick one to start?
Nope, go for it.
Um, I think Mickey 17, which has been talked about for quite a long time now. It's got Bong Joon-ho, whose name I'm sorry if I keep messing up every time I try and say it. Um, a bit of a sci-fi master with your Snowpiercers, etc. But also, like I watched the trailer. I'm not a massive Robert Pattinson fan. I think he's a very good actor, but that's not what drew me. I was like, oh, this is giving me Duncan Jones, Ziggy Stardust's kid. It's giving me him and Sam Rockwell, that brilliant film Moon, Paul, if you
Yeah.
remember it. It's giving me those vibes, and I absolutely love that movie. So just with those vibes and Bong Joon-ho doing this, like sign me up. What's not to be excited about for this one?
No, I think Mickey 17 is going to be an interesting kind of movie. I think there's just an interesting story plot kind of
Yeah.
thing there, and I'm actually getting to like Robert Pattinson quite a bit now.
I have a lot of respect for the dude. And when I say I, I'm clarifying that I'm not one of the super fans because there are a lot of people who are now so on board with him that they're like,
Oh yeah,
anything he does
no,
is brilliant.
I'm cautious. I'm like I was like I like him in Batman. That's so far as the kind of like thing goes with me because I haven't like I'm the
You haven't
Twilight films
delved
were
into his.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. I got you. So Paul, I'm going to throw out another one then real quick because I think Sinners is possibly my most anticipated of the year because Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, who I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Let's take Thanos out of the conversation. The last time Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan worked together, not making Creed movies or amazing Rocky follow-ups, they made Black Panther with the best villain
Mm.
in Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger. It's also this is it's set in a period of time. Probably looks like 20s, maybe 10s, 20s, 30s in America. And it's either zombies or vampires or some weird stuff going on. I don't want you to tell me if you found out, because this one in particular, I don't want to learn anything else until I sit my ass in the cinema. One of those trailers where I watched
Yep.
it and straight away was like, don't tell me anymore. You have my money. La 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 la. Patrick is not listening if you mention Sinners.
Yeah, yeah. I will. Yeah, I won't. I won't ruin it. It looks interesting. I'm like, yeah, I'm intrigued. Obviously, I'm
Yeah,
like, cool, interesting. A little bit of an action, a little bit
everything
of a
about
horror.
it
Yep.
is adding up to could be a good one. So do you want to throw it in, Paul?
Well, we got one that I think which is on a thing that we have now bonded a little bit on, which is the Formula One movie,
Yep.
which has also dominated the 2024 kind of Formula One news cycle a little bit every now and again when Brad Pitt gets up to on the podiums in the middle of like at the end of a race or something like that has been an
Walking
interesting.
through the press pit is the funniest thing because
Oh
I don't care. You're a professional racing driver, but when Brad Pitt walks past behind you and you've obviously been told, don't look at Brad Pitt, there's a great shot of Fernando Alonso just forgetting all that and like going, oh, look, Brad Pitt's in here. But he's actually supposed to be a character, Fernando. You've just given them something that they can't do another take of. Yeah, it's Joseph Kaczynski. Oblivion, Tron Legacy, which we both enjoyed. Not a lot of other people are big supporters. Top Gun Maverick, the film that saved cinema.
yeah,
So how could you not be excited? Except for one thing: motorsport movies in general are terrible, Paul. So
the track record hasn't been great. Like the Ford v Ferrari one's not bad, but yeah, no, other ones are yeah.
yep.
I get you.
I can count on like one hand the good actual motorsport movies. So I'm hoping this is another one of those.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, like
It's got the right people. So yay.
was Brew wants to know was Pitt in the pit? He was. Yeah, they did set up
Pit
a
was in the pit
fake. Yeah,
a lot.
that's gonna be a running gag for quite a while.
Yeah.
Um,
Pits in the pits. What's next?
another one that we from an author that I love and a movie that we both enjoy, which is it's The Running Man.
Yep. And I
Um,
prefer the book version to the existing Arnie movie version, so
yeah,
I'm excited.
it's gonna be an interesting one. Um, are they gonna make it as? I hope they make it as ridiculous. Come on.
Well, honestly, having read the novella, the idea just suits today's time. Somebody on the run in a surveillance society, and the social media aspect of it all. Give that to Edgar Wright, and I'm going to go ahead and say it for you, Paul, one of our favorite directors, because I know you love the man too.
Yeah.
Um, Glenn Powell, the movie star in the making of the moment. Like it's not just Twisters and the Sydney Sweeney movie. Forgive me for not remembering the name of it. You know, he hasn't touched the ground since Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
Little baby Iceman there. There's a there's an awful lot of good signs for this Running Man movie to be just freaking excellent, Paul. I'm buzzing for this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be one of those remakes that I'm actually kind of like, oh, good, an update to it kind of thing. So yeah, let's hope, let's fingers crossed it's good.
Yep. I'm more confident on it than I am on the F1 one. So
Oh,
good
good.
talent alone doesn't give me confidence, but in this case, Edgar Wright. Come on, like name a movie of his that you hate. They just kind of don't exist. He either does good or really really good, in my opinion. Um, I think one of the big hits for me last year, Paul, same for you, I think, was Civil War, right?
Yeah,
Not for everybody else, it appears. It's getting no
yeah.
love from the rest of the world. But Alex Garland's next entry is going to be Warfare. And it has the makings of being a pretty intense depiction of somebody's real life memoir of what it was like to be in the conflict in the Gulf in Iraq.
So
If it's good, it's going to be great.
I actually haven't seen much about this one. So I must go watch the trailer and stuff like that. But I have heard that it looks quite intense. So I'm
Yeah.
intrigued.
Yeah. This could be one of those hold your breath for quite a long time in the cinema movies. So, um, and Paul, I want to call it because I think it's coming out just after this and the current slate. Michael Jackson, the Michael Jackson movie, which is just going to be called Michael. I don't know what age you are watching right now, whomever you are out there. By the way, thank you very much for spending your time with us. You'll either remember what Michael Jackson was to the world, which was the king of pop. People talk about Elvis. People can talk about Michael Jackson. He was super. He's Taylor Swift before Taylor Swift in a fame kind of sense,
Yeah,
with a whole lot more baggage, having lived to his tragic end. He splits people's opinion, Paul. I think that's a guaranteed $1 billion movie. I think the Michael Jackson movie is going to get bums and seats for good reasons, for bad reasons, for mediocre reasons, for nostalgia reasons.
yeah.
There isn't a reason that you can't think of that's going to keep somebody out of the cinema for this one.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it's one of those ones that's just going to draw a lot of people towards it, no matter what.
Yeah, there'll be hate watching left, right,
Yeah,
and center too.
exactly. So we have
So what have you got?
which goes, we have Frankenstein. Sadly, I don't have an image for it, but Frankenstein's Del Toro's movie, which I'm obviously excited for because it's Del Toro, who's my boy. But the interesting thing that about Frankenstein, it's also kicked off, like, I guess, a Frankenstein kind of like war, because The Bride is also going to be
Maggie
um
Gyllenhaal's movie, yeah, that's going to be her second. Her directorial debut was well received, and she's an awesome actress. So, yeah, The Bride of Frankenstein. Who's the lead again in that? Is it Christian Bale
it's
or
Christian
something?
Bale. Yeah,
Jeez, go big or go home. Wow.
yeah, it's an interesting one that's cropped up a little bit, I think. Um,
I wonder if they're going to be released around the same time in the end, because I know there isn't a confirmed release for Del Toro's one, and I'm not sure for The Bride.
Yeah, I'm not sure for either. So yeah, I wonder if they're kind of holding off, just
Yeah,
waiting for each other to kind of like pull the trigger, and then the other one will go as well. So we might actually have another kind of twin movie kind of thing going on, even though The Bride
yeah.
is not exactly the same. But
Well, Nosferatu got this Christmas, or this holiday season, so maybe Frankenstein's going to get the coming holiday season in 2025.
which Nosferatu I went to see last night, very good.
Good. Oh, good. I haven't got to see it yet.
Which is another film that I'm also interested in, which is a little bit more action packed or less meaningful, I guess, is The Gorge. It's a Apple TV movie. Which is That's going to be an interesting one. I'm going to power through these last ones. Electric State, which is the Netflix kind of robot one,
Russo
and
brothers, one to watch out for.
yeah, I think it's going to be a surprise one where I think a lot of people are going to very much enjoy it. I don't think it's going to spark off a lot of kind of controversy or anything like that, but
No,
I think it's
I
going to
think
be
it's going to be family friendly.
yeah,
So
I think
yeah,
it's going to be a very fun, interesting kind of movie. Um, And then last night, since I went to Nosferatu, weirdly enough, they had I went to see also Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and they had a
Oh wow.
Minecraft trailer.
Okay.
And it actually got me excited for that. Well, not excited, but it actually got me kind of going, oh, maybe this isn't going to be so bad for Minecraft. And I know that in our previous videos,
Excellent.
I was like,
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, Minecraft. We covered this earlier in the year, or last year, I should say. It's not aimed at me. If it's got you even remotely excited after your first kind of lukewarm reception to the why of it all, then let's give it a chance. Let's give it a chance.
I think just Jack Black is just going to be very funny in it. So,
Okay, cool. Well, Paul, 2025 wouldn't be 2025 in the cinema without an absolute ton of sequels,
yeah.
because every year is full of sequels and entries into franchises. So, shall we try and do a bit of a speed run?
Yes.
All right. If I call out the name, can you pull up the image? This Paul's hands are working overtime right
Yeah,
now,
I was going to
everybody.
say, this is going to be an interesting one.
Um,
All right, let's go.
which is why any comments will respond in vocal if you want to. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning 2, or Final Reckoning as it's now been renamed. I'm really happy. I'm so sad that the first part of this was kind of overlooked because of the other movies that were happening.
Yeah.
I think you get what you pay for with the Mission Impossible movies. Cruise has still got it when it comes to Mission Impossible movies. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they finish this out. It might be his last, it might not. Either way, I just, if it is his last, I hope they go out with a bang, which they probably will.
It's just an entertaining movie, which is just good, you know?
We're missing Bond right now.
Hmm,
There's no Bond movies. Like Mission Impossible is the other Bond franchise in some ways.
exactly.
So 28 years later, Paul,
Yep. That's going to be.
28 days later, then there was 28 weeks later. They skipped the months. For those of you that are big months fans, um, they've now gone 28 years later. But the original gang are getting back together. It's Danny Boyle and even good old Sweet Cheeks himself, our Irish friend,
Killian Murphy.
Killian Murphy is going to be in it, kind of looking at the trailer. I'm pretty sure I saw him in a fashion. But yeah, so 28 years later, you're the zombie man. Tell me, how excited are you?
Uh, I
Yeah,
don't
okay.
know. Yes, I'll see how it goes, 28 weeks later was kind of interesting. 28 years later, okay. My worry is that they're going to do a prequel and it's going to be 28 hours later and I'm just like, "Oh god."
Yeah, no, let's just wait for 28 centuries later or something after this one. Good trailer. Let's see how it goes. Accountant 2, Paul. It's an easy, quick one. Anybody who saw the first Accountant movie knows why it's worth being excited for a second one. Great cast. Really enjoyable movie. If you haven't seen it, I suggest watching The Accountant. It's on your streaming services. Um, Ben Affleck's very, very well cast in the role that he plays, and he plays it very well. But the supporting cast are absolutely brilliant, including the always wonderful Anna Kendrick.
Mhm. It's very
Um,
good.
Paul, Happy Gilmore 2. Don't know how to feel. Do you know what? I just want to be positive because that first was great. Let's hope that Sandler makes a fun second one.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
That's what we can.
Well, like,
Um we'll come back and do more sequels which goes we'll be back after a quick break.
cool. You obviously like two people talking about movies, or you wouldn't even be seeing this ad. Well, don't tell anyone. But Hear Us Out isn't the only choice. You should check out our friends over at It Takes Two podcast. It's a podcast where two people take two films with the same plot or premise, watch and discuss them. Films like Gremlins and Critters, or The Truman Show on EdTV. Lisa and Nick don't stop there though. They get creative and compare some unexpected movies. Some that you don't see the connection until you realise that they can be described in the same way. They launch new episodes every second Tuesday, or Monday if you're in New Zealand. Find them on your favourite podcast service, or check the link in our description down below. That's It Takes Two podcast. Tell them Hear Us Out sent you.
Hey, welcome back. Which goes we have been talking about sequels, which we're going to go straight back into. We did have Happy Gilmore up there.
Yeah. Well, look, there's not a whole lot to be said. It could be fun, could be terrible. Let's see. One that I think will actually be good, just based on the first one. Nobody was nobody is a better entry in the John Wick franchise than some of the other John Wick movies. So let's hope Nobody 2 can kind of continue that form. I think Bob Odenkirk he's a great actor. Everybody knows him from Better Call Saul. I enjoyed it. So yeah, good to see another one.
Yeah, I'll
The
be
question is,
interested.
Paul, how do you feel about the next one? Now You See Me 3. I I'm guilty. I just watch these things. Whether I don't even know how I feel about them, but I'm like, yeah, just keep making them and I'll keep watching them. I don't even know if I like the damn things.
Yeah, they're a weird one for me because of that stupid line, which is the abracadabra, you're taking off, or I'm taking you off that case, which is just like, do I, do I care?
I look at continuity problems and plot holes. I enjoy a bit of magic buffoonery and heistiness. I kind of think three will be stretching it. Two was stretching it, so I think unless three is amazing, I can't see a four coming. Unless it's direct to streaming. Zootopia 2 or Zootropolis 2, depending on your location, Paul.
Yeah,
That's one that's going to make a ton of money. I was about to use a stronger word than a ton of money. It's going to make an absolute Jesse load of money.
it will. Yeah, which will be very interesting to see. Which was, but no one kind of asked for it, so I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be like. You know.
Yeah, it'll be what it'll be. How do you feel about the Avatar 3 thing? Because this is like I didn't enjoy the first Avatar movie that much, and I really didn't enjoy the second one. But they keep making a load of money because people like me, even who are like, I don't like these things, but I want to see the technology on screen that it's meant to be seen on. So I pay the IMAX money to see it properly, and I sit through it going, God, I wish I'd just seen a cutscene in here like before a good movie.
Yeah.
I want them to take 30 seconds of Avatar, Fire and Ash, and show it before some other movie so I can be like, cool, definitely don't need to sit there for
Yeah.
3 hours in whatever these Avatar things really are. And I know I'm in the minority, all the Avatar lovers out there. I love you people. I just can't get on board. And I I'm not over the moon that they're the highest grossing movies of all time.
I hope. I'm just hoping that you get the movie that you want. That's it.
For the
Like,
fans, yeah.
yeah, for the
I
fans.
hope they do too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. I just think that Earth, Wind, and Fire, which is really, and I
Great
say
band.
I said Earth, Wind, and Fire is just like we've already had like water. We're gonna have Earths, and then we're gonna have fire, and like it's just they're just going through an absolute like
I, I'd like to call out Brian for throwing himself on the fire of the internet as well, because he says Avatar can get in the bin. So yeah, come at us all, particularly Brian. Leave us alone. We're only doing this to be
we're
controversial.
we want you to have the film that you deserve.
Yeah, he didn't type that.
Yeah.
Brian, get typing that you want the fans because you think Swift fans are scary. Avatar fans will paint blue all over your house. Yeah, Paul, where do we go from there? Because you got throwaway ones like there's another Knives Out, the Wake Up Dead Man or whatever. That's
Yeah.
one more night of streaming covered for me.
Yeah, which is, I think I'm not like terribly kind of like, oh, I need to watch this film or anything like that. Yeah, it's not got me on fire for anything. I'm more kind of like, yeah, it's gonna be an interesting, couple of hours to watch it. That's it.
Yeah. And then it's really into the stuff that's more interesting based on what's come before it in these sequels. Tron Ares, we've talked about it before, and it's even come up earlier that we both enjoyed Tron Legacy. I know a lot of people give it
Yes.
a hard time, and they shouldn't because it's better than they remember, and that soundtrack is absolutely hopping.
Yeah.
Um, I just am interested in the Jared Leto led Tron Ares thing. He's been attached to it for ages. I think if he hadn't been contracted, I don't think they would have been going ahead with him. I find it hard to get excited for this. I'm
It's
waiting all this time, and it's this.
Yeah, I get it myself. Like we both loved Legacy, as you said, and yeah, I think this is like this is going to be the problem. We're going to watch this and it's going to be really, really good, even though it has Jared Leto, which we're not a fan of right now. Like, so like, it's going to be a really good film, and I don't know if it's going to be because our expectations are going to be so low that we're going to be like, oh, this is
Yeah.
what's actually a really entertaining movie, and then we're going to be like, in another parallel universe where our standards like are like
Yeah.
our standards have been lowered, that we're just like, it's a terrible movie. And I'm just worried that we're going to be in that timeline where we're like, it's a really
That's
good one.
so true. So true. I think part of, and it's terrible. I keep giving out to other people for doing this. I just have the sequel that I want in my head, and
Mm,
it needed to be made, almost 10 years ago now. So whatever we get, I guess. It's a shame that it timed out for me in some ways.
yeah.
Um, well, Predator Badlands, to close it all out, Paul,
Yeah.
it's technically in a franchise, but it's Dan Trachtenberg who did Prey, which for me, there's Predator and Prey, the two best in the franchise. The one that started it and the last brilliant entry. So I'm excited. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Gimme.
I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good one. Which is,
Mm.
yeah, I can't say any more because, like, my problem is that the expectations are going to be a little bit higher on this one. Because the Prey one was really good, so I'm worried in that fashion that I'm just like, I need to
Yeah.
lower them, not lower them so badly, but I need to lower them a little bit more just to kind of give it a realistic kind of expectation going into the
Yeah.
cinema with it. So
It's a very good point to kind of temper the expectations so you don't put too much unfair pressure. Good
that's
point.
it exactly.
So do you want to talk about TV? Because there's not a whole lot that I've got on my radar for this year. Like there might be a Stranger Things 5.
Yeah,
I'm just happy to get that done with. My passion for Stranger Things is long gone. It's good stuff, don't get me wrong. Still good stuff. It's just over such a long period now that I'm like, yeah, I think I could see this thing end.
I get you. I get you. Um, which is, I guess it's another Game of Thrones, which is the Knights of the Seven Kingdoms, the Hedge Knight. Um, which I think is going to be a fun one because it's essentially a lot of more kind of history and world building. It's a lot more less fantastical because it's about hedge knights and stuff like that a little bit more, and it's a little bit more of the interaction of the Targaryen family and stuff like that. It's later on in the history of like the House of Dragon stuff, kind of thing, but it's essentially um it's just about a hedge knight and his adventures within the Seven Kingdoms and his interaction with the Targaryens and a couple of characters that you'll know the second name of, kind of thing. I can't wait for the Laughing Storm. Can't wait for him to be there. Yeah, like fantastical names and stuff like that. So that's going to be an interesting one.
If
Um,
it's good, that should be right up your street. I'll like it. It'll probably never get onto my radar just because of what it is, but I think they're owed a real good success at this stage because it's a hell of a franchise and people are still waiting for final books and all sorts of stuff. I believe
yeah, like yeah, I think it's if you're a big fan of kind of that world and stuff like that, it's probably another thing to look forward to, I guess.
that's
Um,
cool.
I don't have a picture for there's Welcome to Derry, which is a Stephen King. It's the place where it is set. And it's a TV show essentially about Derry because it's meant to be one of the evilest places that Stephen King could imagine, which is in New England. Um,
Not the one in Ireland.
yeah,
For anybody who's like, we're not. Yeah, for Irish people, Derry straight away, completely
yeah,
different thing. Lovely place, by the way.
yeah. It's the same place that it's part one and part two is set. So I'm interested in it because it's Stephen King. I really like some of the TV shows that have been coming out recently, kind of thing. It also possibly sets up a Stephen or the Dark Tower kind of storyline with uh, Mike Flanagan possibly taking over. So that'll be really cool. The
Cool.
third one we have, yeah, which is a bit of a like we're both looking forward to this, but we're worried about it, I guess.
Yeah, Alien Earth.
Yeah,
Is that what you're talking about?
yeah,
Because I love Alien. I love
yeah,
aliens. Even like Alien 3. And as good as Romulus was, I still kind of think I'm always like, oh, okay, we've made it slightly better. Don't touch it again for a while. Just don't touch it. Just don't touch it. Let it be okay. It's like China on the shelf for me now. I'm just waiting for somebody to destroy it all over again.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm very much like I actually think that like Alien franchise could possibly lend itself to good TV show kind of
Yeah.
thing. But it has to be careful because we've just, as you say, we've just got a good one, and kind of the credit is now being slightly raised. That it's just like you need
Yeah.
to be very careful with it. I'd be very interested in probably what the director of Romulus will have to say of it when it comes out and stuff.
Mm.
Because it could affect the future of his stuff. So
And as far as I know, this is the first TV version of anything in the Alien or Predator universe, right?
as far as I'm aware, yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
think
I
it's
think Sarah Connor was the first for the Terminator franchise, and we know
yes.
how well and then badly it went, as in it went well, but it didn't get the success that it needed to continue doing well. I figure that oversaturation, and we know Terminator didn't go anywhere good really after that. Although you spoke highly about the most recent animated series that I cannot remember the name of.
Yes, Terminator Zero, yeah, which is up on Netflix. Yeah, it was a very much enjoyable thing. Once again, set in its own kind of like world, I guess, so it's a little bit more palatable. So
Pocket
to be just like,
University.
not maybe it's just set in its own place, I guess, where it's like away
Okay.
from the rest of it. So like, it's just like, okay, cool, I can accept that kind of that little bit,
Yep.
Um, we'll go on to other ones that we're also slightly worried about, kind of thing, which is going to be the Lilo and Stitch, and also How to Train Your Dragons. Which is
Anything that you want to declare there, Paul? Like the fact that you friggin' love Lilo and Stitch, I'm assuming.
yes, yes, I do. I really enough. I actually love both of these movies. Which is
So how do
Lilo
you
and
feel?
huh?
How do you feel? You nervous?
I don't like. I don't care for this
Oh,
whole idea of
oh.
essentially live actioning stuff. I don't want it.
Yeah, I'm kind of not into it myself. Like, don't get me wrong, these two movies are not as close to my heart as they are to yours, but I actually like. I really freaking love them. I don't think this is necessary. So the best that we're gonna get is no damage done.
That's yeah. That's the to me the best is that yeah.
So that's like playing with a loaded handgun. They're like the best case scenario is no one gets hurt.
Yep.
That's ugh. There's money to be made, so they're gonna keep making it. But come on, are they gonna live action everything in the back catalog? Because that's a lot.
That's it. That's the thing that I'm worried about. Like, cause like, and then but my other problem is that they're gonna like live action stuff and then make like absolute stories that are involved in it. Like Mufasa, for example. Uh, like I haven't seen it. My problem is that it has to end with Scar being a bad guy. Like his brother has to
Oh
be a
yeah,
bad guy. So like it's not a surprise that at the end he's gotten jaded or something like
yeah. Some of my family, I would not go and see Mufasa. To be honest, some of my family did with one of the younger members, and yeah, not good reports from any of the adults. Um, and in contrast to that, went to see Conclave the next night, and everybody was like, "Wow, this is cinema." It just makes Mufasa seem even more not pointless, not worthless, pointless. Because
Yeah,
that's one of the big complaints. Pointless, but also just there's something hollow to it all. Like amazing technical creations,
yeah,
but so's an iPhone. I don't want to sit there and stare at it.
yeah, exactly. Um, we'll go on to some of the more controversial things this year.
Well, how about more real life or remakes of old Disney properties? Snow White. Snow White has, and I just want to get this out there from a personal point of view, Paul. You can give your opinion separately. I know that there's going to be a year of people talking absolute waffle about culture war topics around Snow White. And I'm not just talking about the dwarves, but that will be part of it. But I
Mhm.
know the person that's been cast as Snow White, there's already some issues with her or whatever that some random loony people. I can't tell if it's the Andrew Tate crowd or like I don't want to know anymore. These culture war issues are really starting to piss me off and get in the way of good creative endeavors and the idea of whether or not somebody approached something with love in their heart to make something good that we can then all judge whether we liked it or not. I, I can't believe how much dodging I'm gonna have to do in the internet to avoid bullshit this year on a friggin' Snow White movie. Sorry for getting more graphic with my language, but bloody hell.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I guess the only part that I really care, like I've kind of like I felt like I would be a little bit more focused on is essentially yeah the seven dwarves part, but that's it. Like I'm just like I kind of wanted them in, and I get the whole thing and stuff. Like either way, but like the other parts of just the main actress, like being I'm just like I don't care. Like I'm sorry, like
Yeah.
you're saying like it's a
I don't even know
movie.
all the stuff, Paul, and I'm trying my best. Like I just don't want to know. I no longer want to learn these things, and which is trouble for you because we do a channel based on this, and I'm now going, but it's so friggin' stupid. And like the dwarves thing, I'll make my comments after I see the movie.
Yeah,
Then I'll know
that's
whether or not there was any issue.
yeah, that's the thing. It's just like it is like this is the thing is it's a director's interpretation of essentially the source material or the story and stuff
Yep.
like that. So it's I'm completely up to kind of going, okay, well they don't have them in, so let's just continue on. Like Maleficent is about essentially the witch that's in this, and like it's
There you
entirely
go.
about her history that turns her into a tragic like character. I wasn't just like you can't turn a villain into a tragic character. Oh wait, Mr. Freeze, yes you can. You know, I'm like, I'm gonna go watch the movie. I'm gonna make my judgments on the movie and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But people who are just, I am also getting sick of essentially people going, yeah, but she's not my interpretation. It's like, well, that's
Well,
fine. You know,
here's a prediction for 2025. I'm going to be a lot less worried about offending or getting cancelled or whatever way people say things. You may well have to temper me at different times this year, Paul, where I'm just going to call out weird keyboard warrior lunatics who just love rage baiting and
yeah,
raging at each other. If we have to go back to 2016 Ghostbusters, I regret not actually us being online then to properly go, do you know what? And I won't say the F word, but just sit the F down and shut the F up. I comment on the movie. Get over all the rest of it, please. The movie was crap, okay? For the record, the
yeah,
movie was not good, but not for any of the reasons that everybody hated it before it came out.
yeah.
Bloody lunatics.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, another controversy that we're going to hear a lot about and stuff like that. And I don't know how it's going to go. I'm just interested because I'm hearing a lot of crazy stuff, especially in the last couple of days, is the Blake Lively kind of which is controversy. We're going to hear a lot more about that. That's going to snowball and stuff like that into a bigger and bigger thing as we go on and within the year. Obviously,
Yeah.
we will look at the evidence and stuff like that and make informed decisions. But my only bringing up and now is that like this is going to be one that's going to be hanging over our heads for quite a bit within the first half of this year kind of thing, and it's
This
going
is
to be
the Depp Heard thing all over again. It's two sides and plenty of information will be coming out from both. Who knows how we'll be able to discern what's opinion and what's fact.
yeah, exactly. So we're going to hear a lot about it over the next while. So
Yeah.
which
So
is
Paul, can I make a fun? Is there anything else controversial that you
no.
want to bring up? Because I want to go back to something real fun.
Mhm.
I'm predicting something else other than me like losing my temper on the internet. I'm predicting that because I love spoof movies and they're making there'll be a new Naked Gun coming out with Liam Neeson.
Yep.
I don't know why, but I can't get past the Liam Neeson part. I know he's capable of all this, and I know Leslie Nielsen was a straight actor until he went straight went spoof on Airplane, and I'm a big fan of Police Squad, all that good stuff. I've got to get out of my own way on this one, so I predict that you're going to hear me grumbling, and you're going to have to go, just shut up and enjoy it, will you? This is
No,
one where I'm going to have to eat my own medicine, and you're going to have to take the stick to me a bit.
like I get it. I guess that like yeah. The Wilson was a little bit more of a serious actor, and then he did the kind of comedic kind of stuff, and yeah, I get you with that kind of stuff. So, but I'm I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one. I'm fascinated. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that's probably it. I'm probably more fascinated about it than I am kind of excited or interested. I'm just
Yeah.
like, ooh, I wonder if a spoof movie can work again.
Well, I hope so because it's we've talked about it. We've done a whole episode on it before. Spoof died a weird death, and I hope it gets come back.
Yes, I agree.
Do you know what's getting a comeback that I don't want? Dinosaurs.
Yeah, of course they
We did a
are.
whole video, and you can print money off Jurassic Park and make the worst movies ever. Jurassic crap will make Jurassic billions, and they're doing it again. So there's going to be more dinosaur crap, and people are going to go and see it, probably including me. And whether it's good or it's bad, it won't matter. The bank is going to be full. So
Yeah,
I
which
reckon.
is yeah. I'm gonna like even was it Jurassic World Dominion didn't even really involve most dinosaurs. It was it was more about that genetics thing. But it was just like, so what are they gonna do with this? I I can't wait for the when they that the franchise jumps the shark is when they properly do a like human dinosaur hybrid.
Yeah.
That's that's when it's gonna like jump this
Oh, that's
complete.
coming.
Oh, it is. It's better, and I
Yeah.
hope it happens in Rebirth.
Yeah, so that we can be done.
Yeah,
Because maybe that's when, like, it's bulletproof. Dinosaurs make money.
yeah,
Jurassic Park was an amazing film that should have a legacy that isn't just now any old dinosaur schlock can get money out of it if you put the Jurassic name on it. It's an affront to a brilliant Steven Spielberg 90s movie.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. Like it's just gonna be.
but Brian says he hasn't seen a Jurassic movie since the second one. Good call, keep it that way. There's
It's
some good stuff in there. There's some of it's all right, but on balance, you're still better off without.
the third one you can watch. It's like the first three. Like it, don't expect much from the third one, but like
No.
it's better than the others than the ones that came afterwards, because it's at least still involves like you know well the second one had Goldman in it, but it still involves
Yeah.
the original cast a little bit, which is good.
Can I throw in my last prediction and then just throw it over to you because I think nobody part two will be a better entry in the John Wick franchise than Ballerina. I'm the only person on the planet that isn't massively excited about a John Wick tale,
Hmm.
Ballerina, a John Wick story. It just feels cash grabby. Anna Darmus is great. I'm sure she will be very, very good. I'm sure and I mean no disrespect, I'm sure there are a lot of people who are like, brilliant, she's very attractive. Let's get a female John Wick, which is a strange thing to go for. I just, for whatever reason, my bones are telling me Nobody 2 will be a better representation of what you can do in a John Wick style movie than Ballerina.
I just like the reason I said that the second John Wick was so good was they expanded on the world and gave us a little bit more. My worry is that the third and fourth one tried to do that and gave us too much, and I'm worried that Ballerina is going to give us even more kind of like weird
Mm.
stuff. I know it's going to be focusing on essentially the Romanov kind of, or not the Romanov, but the kind of family that John Wick was a part of and stuff, which is
Yeah.
interesting because I don't know if it's going to be past or present or future. So like, I guess that where they put it in within the timeline.
I
Um,
think they're just wringing the rag too tight to get too much water out of it. The Continental TV show, this, everything,
yeah, the
it's
Continental
starting to
stuff.
feel almost Jurassic in its nature. That John Wick, as the first movie, was great. You very much enjoyed the sequel. I enjoyed it as well, but you really talked me into liking it even more than I had. Then we had Parabellum, which was the sign of, okay, we should maybe stop at two and not go and search for money so fast.
Yep.
This is a very quick search for money.
Yep. I agree. It is very much seeing a popular franchise and just being able to get as much money out of it. Uh, yeah, more predictions out of the whole thing. Yeah, I agree with Brew on the kind of like there's going to be more movie like more great horror movies. That is a genre that is just becoming more and more of a powerhouse. The Damned, I'm really looking
Yeah.
forward to watching that. And I'm looking forward to I think Scream 7 has started filming
Oh God.
and stuff like that. So yeah, there's some news on movies that I'm kind of interested in to hear about more. More Batman 2 because I know it's coming out in 2026. And then Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey kind of movie with Tom Holland and stuff like that. I'll be interested to see more. That's going to be more cast stuff, kind of thing.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that slowly reveals, because that's one of those long term watches where you're like, ooh, God, Nolan's doing the Odyssey. This, ooh, Oh, where's this going to go? Could be brilliant.
Yeah, especially with Gladiator 2, really good reception. Like, as in it's not, it's well received of kind of having a sand and sandals, or like, what is this, a sword
Sword
and
and sandals.
shoulder
Yeah.
sandals kind of thing. I think we need, like, I think people are also looking forward to another kind of revive of that kind of genre of movie, and I think the Odyssey with Christopher Nolan's going to be a good one. So any history or
You know,
any news we get out of it is going to be good.
unless he goes in "Oh brother, where art thou" route. It's who knows. That's why it's going to be fascinating to
Hmm.
watch that. I think that'll be brilliant. Um, so yeah, good ahead. I think Paul, good year ahead.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to look forward to, even with sequels and remakes, kind of thing. I think new movies and stuff, as we said before. I think the creative kind of like experimental stuff is good. So it's gonna be a good year.
So I would say what people should do if you're watching right now is you should make sure you're subscribed. You should hit a like, hit the little bell, all that good stuff. But seriously, do share with other people. Get in the comments. Let us know what you think. But get in the comments now. It's the start of a year. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Let us know if you want us to just go absolutely insane and start screaming at clouds over topical things. We probably won't do that, but it might seep into some of our content. So
Yeah,
yeah, any suggestions, any and all suggestions are welcome. But let us know what you're looking forward to as 2025 unfolds.
yeah. Which is with that, I've been Paul,
And I've been Patrick.
and we've been Here's Out.
See you next time.
See you next week.